The Order of Time was written by Carlo Rovelli, an Italian theoretical physicist known for his work on quantum gravity and the nature of time. This book explores one of the most profound mysteries of the universe, the nature of time. Rovelli takes readers on a journey that mixes science, philosophy, and his own reflections to present a completely new way of understanding time, something that, although familiar to all of us, has puzzled philosophers and scientists for centuries. Rovelli's writing is not just about the science itself, but about how we relate to and experience time in our everyday lives. The book begins by confronting an idea that many of us take for granted. Time seems to flow in one direction, from the past to the future. This flow is something we feel deeply in our daily lives. We wake up, we experience events, and we measure these moments with clocks and calendars. But Rovelli argues that time, as we understand it, does not really exist in the way we think. He explains that this feeling of time moving forward is an illusion, something that arises from our limited perspective as human beings. Rovelli explains that, according to modern physics, time is not a constant that ticks away uniformly in every part of the universe. In fact, time behaves differently depending on where you are and how fast you are moving. This idea comes from Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, which showed that time is not the same for everyone. For example, time passes more slowly for someone traveling close to the speed of light compared to someone standing still. Similarly, the closer you are to a massive object like a planet or a black hole, the slower time runs. This idea challenges our everyday understanding of time, but it is a well-established part of modern science. One of the key ideas that Rovelli introduces is that time, as we know it, might not even be fundamental to the structure of the universe. Instead, time could be something that emerges from deeper, more fundamental physical processes. Rovelli uses the example of how space and time were once thought to be the same thing, unified in what physicists call space-time. He shows how, in modern physics, time seems to be a result of the interactions of particles, which themselves are governed by laws that don't rely on time in the way we think. Time, in this sense, might be more like an illusion or an approximation of something deeper and more complex. Rovelli also discusses the concept of the present and how it is a much trickier idea than we might think. In our everyday experience, we think of the present moment as the one thing that is always real and actual, while the past is gone and the future is yet to come. But in physics, the present is not so clear-cut. In fact, the idea of the present varies depending on where you are in the universe and how you are moving. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, different observers, even though they are looking at the same event, may disagree on when it happens. This shows that the present, as we experience it, is not as absolute as we often assume. In Rovelli's view, the present is more like a particular viewpoint in the vast ocean of time, which is constantly changing and shifting. One of the most interesting points that Rovelli makes in the book is about the nature of memory. He suggests that memory plays a key role in how we perceive time. Our memories are what give us the feeling of continuity, of a past, a present, and a future. Without memory, we wouldn't be able to distinguish between what happened and what is happening right now. However, Rovelli also points out that our memories are not perfect records of the past. They are often shaped and distorted by our experiences, emotions, and even our brain's limitations. This means that what we think of as the past may not be as accurate as we believe, and this distortion influences how we understand time itself. Throughout the book, Rovelli takes readers through a variety of different scientific theories and discoveries related to time. He explains how, in quantum mechanics, the idea of time becomes even more strange. At the level of tiny particles, time doesn't flow in the simple way we are used to. Instead, time appears to be broken or disjointed. The smallest units of reality, called quantum events, don't follow a smooth, continuous flow from one moment to the next. Instead, they happen in a more unpredictable and uncertain way. This, according to Rovelli, challenges the very idea of time as something that smoothly progresses from one moment to the next. Rovelli also dives into the philosophical implications of his ideas. He explores how different cultures and thinkers have understood time, both in the past and present. Many ancient cultures, for instance, viewed time as cyclical, with events repeating in endless loops. The Western view of time, with its emphasis on linear progression, emerged much later, and it shaped the way we think about the universe today. But Rovelli suggests that this linear view might not be the most accurate. He encourages us to consider other ways of understanding time, beyond the simple past, present, future model. One of the most profound ideas that Rovelli presents is the possibility that the universe does not care about time in the way humans do. The universe, according to him, does not have a built-in sense of past, present, and future. These are human concepts, ways we organize our experience of the world. Time itself, in the grand scheme of things, might not be fundamental to the universe at all. This means that rather than being the ultimate ruler of existence, time is more like an emergent feature, a consequence of other, deeper forces at work in the universe. At the same time, Rovelli acknowledges that time, despite being an illusion in some ways, is still very real in our everyday lives. We still experience the passing of time in our personal experiences and in the way we organize society. Clocks and calendars remain essential for us to keep track of events, appointments, and everything else in life. This paradox, time being both real and illusory, is one of the book's central themes. While time may not be what we think it is on a fundamental level, it still has a profound effect on our lives. In conclusion, The Order of Time is not just a scientific exploration, it's also a meditation on the nature of existence. Rovelli invites readers to rethink everything they know about time and to open their minds to the possibility that time is not what it seems. It's a challenging but deeply rewarding journey into the heart of one of the universe's greatest mysteries. The book shows that time, while central to our experience of life, may not be as simple or as straightforward as we often believe. It challenges us to look beyond our everyday understanding and consider the possibility that the universe's true nature is far more complex than we can imagine. In the end, The Order of Time asks us to consider not just the science of time, but the way in which our perception of it shapes our understanding of the world and our place within it.